Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's Dave Neal, stand-up comic and host of this here fine community we like to call Bachelor Nation News. Hello, everybody. We've got folks coming in from the Fox Trail, aka Megan Fox, rating the chat. Good to see everyone out there. I've got breaking news to get into. I will be sharing it with you. In fact, you're just going to have to give me a minute here. I just realized a little bit of an issue we've got behind the scenes. So I'll talk you guys through it while I work on a few things over here. But I do appreciate everyone joining us today. We will just working on our monetization. Let's see here. There it is. We are monetized. We do accept your friendly super chats, although it is not demanded. You can give as you please, but we are gonna get into this breaking news information. We've got. Let's see. I'm trying to think what's what here. Oh, look. Can you see all of the new? So that means I'm sharing a window. I'm trying to think what I'm sharing here. So I've got this new 33-page document we're going to dive into. We'll dive into it in a second here. Oh, it didn't automatically send you over here? Yeah, it's been good to hang out with Meg. I was, trying to get work done. That's what's kind of tough when you do some of this, cross-pollinating here. You can't always, you got to make your own content too. So that's why I'm always grateful when people jump into my chat. Oh, L, beautiful name, L, by the way. Breadstick money, F lawsuits. Go walk your wife and tell her push, push, push. Yes, I am going to be going and spending the afternoon with my wife. Our due date is my birthday, which is Wednesday, May 1st. A beautiful day. Excuse me. Got a little bit of cold brew left. It's a little watered down, though. So what was interesting is maybe you guys in the comment section could tell me as we wait for people. I'm going to have to really take a look at some of this software that's Brad was using to look at the forensics of this photoshopping that's going on. Somebody sent me, let's see, this here, this is a screen grab that Miss Jane Doe had in court. Apparently, you can adjust the date and time, which is wild. So that's why you never want screen grabs of metadata. You want like the source information, because according to the screen grabs, it could have been, and I didn't even know you could do this. Have you guys ever tried to do this? Let me see 1 second here. So by the way, we do have new information coming out. I'm going to get to it once we hit 1,000 people in the chat. So hit the like button and we are going to share the new information that's coming out. Maybe we'll do it before then. It's a 33-page document and it is, again, new stuff since Megan. I mean, there's just a lot this week. We've got 5+ weeks before the trial. And I haven't yet booked my trial flight, but I do plan on coming. So look, I can adjust. I took a photo. Let me show you guys this. See this photo right here? I took this photo April 27th. And now I'm going to adjust it so that it says I took it April 3rd. There it is, April 3rd. I just took this photo yesterday. Give me a date. Someone give me a date in the chat room, please. In the chat room, give me any day in the last 50 years. The next person to give me a date, I'm going to make this photo be that date. Now, why is this important? Well, it's important because we don't know the date of, and again, I'll show, you know what I'll do is I'll show you this video here. 1 second. If I stop the screen and show you, this is what's being sent to me with regards to some of her evidence here. I'm going to show you guys, let's do the entire screen here. So this was sent to me. This is a video that was sent to me of somebody who took this document that, was used and adjusted the date and time. All right, I'm getting February 2nd, 2012, February 7th, 2012. Someone told me to adjust the date here, February 7th, 2012. So let's go here. I'm adjusting the date to February. I can even say what time zone I want it to be in. So February 7th, 2012. There it is, folks. There it is. I just did that. Your boy just did that. February 7th, 2012. Are you kidding me right now? It's that easy to do? You just gave me a date. October 26, 1985. Last time I'm going to do this, just to show you guys, just date and time. October, and again, this is why we need to make sure. October, by the way, October 1985. That was my first Halloween. Very nice year. What date did you say? You said October what? I didn't catch. October 26. There it is, folks. October 26th. 1985. I did it right there. And of course, that's my beautiful dog. Isn't that the derpiest of dogs right there? Is that not the most beautiful dog? There he is right there. That is a 15-year-old basset hound. That is a good boy, as they call him. So again, all this to just show you guys how simple it might be to change that date. So now, why does that matter? Well, because this date is in question. These dates, it's like, all right, she says she was sending some of these images to telehealth providers. It's just people want to know what's going on out there. All right, so let's go here. Why don't we just do this screen grab style? Here it is, folks. I've got the eye of the tiger. Boone is the bestest of boys. If anyone wants to leave a super chat for Boone, I will make sure to give him a belly rub for you. $5 gets Boone a belly rub. Ninja Puppy said hails DUI, Legal Vices, Megan Fox, and Dave. That's right. It's a who's who of live streamers. Jermaine, and thank you so much for that $5, Ninja Puppy. My dog, not a Ninja Puppy. My dog is a sleeping old dog. Jermaine Down says the text number from Jane's affidavit is not for a traditional telemed service. It's for the miscarriage and abortion hotline. Oh, very interesting. Very interesting. So let's do this. If everyone can just remember these things, okay? Remember some of these things, because this is all very valid and important stuff to remember when it comes to dealing with some of the claims that we're about to see from her. Shall we jump right into them? You guys want to jump right into them? But thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate it. Jermaine and everybody else, I really appreciate you guys. All right. Lynn says, not if you have the actual photos. What's the question? I'm trying to look. Well, people say, look at the chat. It's always still buried in the metadata. Yes, Linz. The original is always buried in the metadata. The point that I'm sharing here is that we are looking at screen grabs, right? So these are screen grabs that she had. And because they're screen grabs, we don't know that metadata information. That's the easiest thing to do, is share a screen grab, of course. All right. So, and again, hey, she might say, oh, she might provide proof with the metadata. Okay. And don't get upset at people like me who are, generally speaking, my philosophy on life is that everybody's trying their best with the information they have. My philosophy on life is that why would someone lie when they don't, all of that jazz. Of course, that's how I feel. With this case, I'm expecting every decision made by Jane Doe to be something that benefits her because it's the truth, or benefits her because the truth has been fabricated. That's yes, Wink says we have to question it. Where's her primary care provider? I mean, this is somebody who's extremely wealthy, as she says, and should have all of this covered. I mean, look, we moved across the country, right? So we had an OB, very simple, right? We had an OB in Burbank, California, saw him, 10 times. And now, because we're in the final month of our pregnancy, we're going to the OB every week. So yes, I understand that the metadata is always buried and you can't get rid of it, but there is no way she would provide the metadata for these photos, only the screen grab versions. Stir Crazy with 10 Canadian dollars. Thank you. Says Dave, you not only have an army behind you, but also an army in front of you to protect you. She has to go through us first. Thank you for sticking with the truth, unlike someone else. Yeah, I was thinking about it because we're going to get into it. We're going to get into this in a second where she's, you know what? Let's get into it right now. Why don't we jump right into it? We're going to jump into it right now. Wendy said, let's not forget Tug. Yeah, we love Tug. I think we mentioned Tug, right? Leslie says, love you, Boone. You'll be a great big brother. Oh, we hope so. Boone. Boone's going to be very excited to meet his little baby brother. So anyhow, let's get into it. This is breaking information that came out minutes ago. It was just redacted. Here it is. Are you guys ready? Ladies and gentlemen in Bachelor Nation, breaking news. Not only is it Clayton Echard's 31st birthday today, but it's also the day we have the news of an amended motion for relief from judgment based on fraud. In this document, which I'm about to share with you, we are going to see Clayton Echard's lawyer admitting he wished he didn't drop the sanctions that Jane Doe's attorney was claiming were going to be a whole problem. I'm going to get into it. We have that. We have emails to share where they say, well, this is why we're going to sue Dave and Clayton and others. We're going to get into all of it right now. Here it is, folks. Hey, Michael Maricini is in the audience, says LFG. Hello, Michael. We're here for you, Michael. We are here for you. We are here for Greg. We're here for Clayton. We are here for the contractor who had his business almost sunk because of dealing with litigious Lindsay over here. All right. Appreciate you in there, Michael. Steve says, Dave, I want to email some documents to you. Could you please let me know your email? My email is, I'm going to type it right here. It's, of course, open for anybody. I don't always respond, but there it is. DaveNeal5@gmail. That's my email. Big Johnson wants to know, Mike, is your mom really a twin? Yeah, we need to find that out. But hold on. Okay, sorry. Did I lose you for a second? What just happened? Justice for the birthday boy. Okay, I think I might have lost you for a second. My apologies. I'm still trying to figure out how to work this thing. Mike has to be experienced. Has to be experiencing the biggest case of Schadenfreude. Welcome, Michael. Okay, so sorry, I lost my document here. 1 second. Share screen. I'm new to this software, so just forgive me. Please forgive me. Here it is. There it is. There's the document. All right, let's get into this document. How do I get rid of this left part? Let me just try to get rid of. Let's see what that does. No, I guess we have to keep it. All right, here we go. In the Superior Court of the State of Arizona, in and for the County of Maricopa, Janie Dodo Bird III and Clayton Echard. Amended motion for relief from judgment based on fraud. Trying to see if we get any response from Mike over there. Mike's probably like, oh, geez, I don't want to have to go back to court. I get it, Mike. But Mike, if there's ever anything you want to share with us, we are all ears. Defendant Clayton, by and through counsel, understanding and pursuant, blah, blah. This motion is amended solely in an effort to streamline litigation and focus on the upcoming trial. While, as addressed in Exhibit 4, this amendment is legally unnecessary, it is being provided to avoid further distraction from the core issues. See attachment Exhibit 1. The sole amendment, other than changes to the judge and petitioner's counsel, can be found on page 3 and notes that petitioner was seen on November 14th for non-pregnancy related care at Mom Doc months after she claimed she miscarried. All right. If you guys need to catch my attention, if I'm getting something wrong, please just, try to just let me know. MDD says, go to the upper left-hand corner to remove the left sidebar. Is that this right here? Oh, there it is. Wow. Look at that. Tech support. Okay. On October 6th, and by the way, we're going to see exhibits that involve email exchanges and things like that. But Clayton's attorneys are doubling down on the fraud claims. On October 6, 2023 and October 25th, 2023, plaintiff committed fraud when she filed her underlying petition for order of protection and then testified before Judge Duty under the fraudulent pretense that she was pregnant with defendant's twins and that defendant was cyberbullying her by posting her medical records online. To be clear, plaintiff was never pregnant by defendant as they did not have penetrative sexual intercourse. Now, her attorney was arguing that it wasn't fraudulent because she should have filed an order against him anyway. She was afraid of her life, blah, blah, blah. So that's the order of protection. Specifically, during a deposition for the paternity establishment matter currently pending before Judge Mata, plaintiff admitted to modifying medical records and claimed she had a miscarriage in September, predating the filing of the OOP. In her own words, plaintiff did change the top of that sonogram from Planned Parenthood to SMIL. I added my name in the facility name. Correct. Exhibit 1, page 88. Relevant here, plaintiff tampered with the same sonogram. Now, her attorney says, while it was a thing that she regrets because of this, because of that, it is tampering. That is textbook definition of tampering. And if she was manipulating information, you would have to assume it's because it's fraudulent, because any amount of information that is manipulated to change somebody's opinion, in this case, to convince Clayton she was pregnant because she went to that place to get a sonogram, that is fraud. Julie with a $20 super chat. Thank you so much, Julie. She said, I'd love to send you $1 for every time you've exposed her lies, but it would break the bank. Hey, I appreciate you, Julie. Thank you so much. I mean, people wonder, they go, oh, how are you making content about this every day? I'm sorry that there are new things to dispel every day. Relevant here, plaintiff tampered with the same sonogram this court found to be part of the single act of DV required to justify granting the order of protection. Meanwhile, she submitted to this court, and this court explicitly relied upon a fraud. Through the discovery process, a very disturbing hobby of plaintiff modifying, creating documents she purports to be medical records and legal correspondence has been identified. Wow. To date, in the contemporaneous establishment matter, plaintiff has provided no verifiable medical evidence to support her alleged twin pregnancy and has admitted, and by the way, I like that Clayton's attorney is continuing to call it a twin pregnancy. That's what she alleged, that it was a twin pregnancy. So it's, and they underlined a fraud. Yeah, they are not making mistakes about it. They're doubling down. This is a fraud. Now, what we're going to see here, as you guys might have seen in Megan Fox's earlier video, is that her expert witness, who is an OB that apparently hasn't practiced medicine since the year 2001, which again was the year of 9/11. Never forget. Oh, by the way, Winks with a $50 super chat. Thank you so much, Winks. That's really for Boone, baby, mama, Tasha, and for you fighting for the truth. Keep doing the right thing. Winks, thank you. Thank you so much for that. That's very generous of you. What are you, in a cult or something? Are you a cult member here? Give it up. Cults for Dave. Cutie cult members. Some culter. Anyhow, their expert witness is going to testify that an HCG test was proof enough that you were pregnant. His expert witnesses are going to say that the only verifiable medical proof of pregnancy is an ultrasound. Everything else is just an indicator of pregnancy. So, I mean, this is where I wish it was in front of a jury, because I really do feel like a jury would look at this and go, all right, he's pissing on our leg and telling us it's raining. I mean, that's what it comes down to, right? Is nobody buys this. Now, whether the judge is going to have to side with Jane Doe because of, something above my pay grade, I'm not too sure. By the way, thank you guys so much for 1,000 people in the chat. Please hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. We're doing a lot more live streaming now that we've got good Wi-Fi and we know what to do with it. So we continue. Plaintiff has provided no verifiable medical evidence to support her alleged twin pregnancy and has admitted that the ultrasound at the core of this court's basis for granting the protection order was de facto fraudulent. That's a good AI song. De facto fraudulent. A de facto fraud. Months after petitioner claims she miscarried in November of 2023, petitioner was seen at Mom Doc, who provided non-pregnancy related gynecological care and who confirmed that petitioner was not pregnant. Interesting. Moreover, to date, every obstetrician and gynecologist plaintiff testified, court proceedings and deposition, to being seen for her fake pregnancy have indicated they have no records, as she was never seen as a patient. Startlingly, the source of the sonogram that this court relied on was allegedly from Southwest Medical Imaging, which has, independent of plaintiff's admission to doctoring the image, confirmed there are no records of the alleged sonogram. So hold on a second. Let me get this right. Flux said, I love live streams. I love you guys. I really like doing this. And I appreciate you guys for being in here. Um, we will be live June 10th outside the courthouse in Maricopa County, thanks to your donations, thanks to your sort of care and concern for the truth here. We will be reporting live. I will be trying to get any interviews I can get. That being if Jane Doe's attorney wants to speak with us, if Jane Doe wants to speak to us, Clayton, anybody, any of these expert witnesses, if they want to talk to us, I will be outside the courtroom with a microphone and camera bringing you guys this content because it is of public interest. My guess is laws might be changed after this thing's said and done. Laws might be changed. Megan will be there. Megan Fox, Reality Steve may be there. I mean, it's going to be a lot. Months after petitioner claims she miscarried. So here's what's interesting. She goes to this ultrasound. She goes to this gyno here. Can I still call him a gyno? Who provided non-pregnancy related care. Why didn't she go to Mom Doc before? Like, how come they don't have any information? So to date, every obstetrician and gynecologist plaintiff testified to being seen for by her fake pregnancy have indicated they have no records and she was never seen as a patient. The source of the sonogram that the court relied on was allegedly from Southwest Medical Imaging Labs. So we know that that's not true. They have no records of it. Further emphasizing the extreme fraud on this court, notwithstanding sharing other sonograms of the alleged twin pregnancy that curiously match up with sonograms and YouTube videos posted from years ago online, plaintiff has now denied the existence of all other sonograms. When confronted with science in the opaque lack of evidentiary support at the deposition, plaintiff admitted that she never sought OBGYN or related care for the pregnancy, further demonstrating the fraud on this court in the collateral proceedings. Now, the argument that her attorney is going to make is none of that's important. What's important is whether or not she believes she was pregnant. So they're going to be coming at it from different ends. He's going to say, hey, if you can't prove she was never pregnant, then none of this matters. Clayton's lawyers, I'm already losing my voice. Clayton's lawyers are going to argue all of these actions she took and didn't take prove she knew she wasn't pregnant because she never sought the tests. Now, in a normal life, did you rob Walgreens in November? Well, I never proved I didn't, so you wouldn't know. It's like, okay, well, how are you going to prove that? The way you prove a pregnancy is what any normal person who's pregnant does, which is you go seek professional care to make sure the babies are okay. Rather than doing that, she dangles whether or not she was going to abort the babies. And that's kind of like, her lawyer says it's because, well, she never planned on keeping them anyway. How rotten of a person do you have to be to now? Look, I'm a pro-choice person. I believe in a woman's right to decide what to do up until a certain amount of time. I believe that with your doctor's guidance, if a pregnancy is not viable or if it's early on, most abortions that happen are with a pill anyway, an abortion pill. My belief is you leave that up to a woman and her doctors. No one's having babies ripped out of their womb, fourth trimester style. That would be murder. That's just not happening. With that said, the idea over being pro-life or pro-choice usually doesn't bring in the moral sort of conundrum where I believe most people that are pro-choice do see the gravity of human life and human life that already exists, that being the mothers, and saying, I'm not ready to bring a baby into this. I'd rather choose this. And, whatever the case may be, it's not some flippant argument. I'm going to dangle this baby over. I mean, just about nobody treats abortions, whether you're pro or against them. Almost nobody treats them with such casual malice that it appears we're seeing here. Rosalind says she definitely regrets getting caught. I'll tell you what, we're going to keep on reading this, but I'm going to show you, irrefutable evidence that I didn't doctor the what they're going to accuse me of doing. And it's so easy. It is so easy when you have the truth on your side. It is so easy to remember your situation. She's sent out so many attachments of different things. I don't think she even knows she sent me a fraudulent HCG test, which we've, of course, unearthed. Steve said, email sent to you. Okay, let me pull that up. I'm just going to pull up an email here. Give me a second. And let's just see what we're working with. Oh, that's not the one. Hold on, I don't see it. I'll wait for it. Maybe it's in my spam. I wish I was playing some audio so I could. Oh, here it is. It was in my spam. On Saturday morning UK time, I emailed somebody to ask for a link to his new motion he filed that time. He did send me that, but also his experts report that we've seen. He sent me the experts report for Clayton too. I'm not sure if it's allowed or if they are confidential. Thank you so much. Someone has sent me the expert report. I'm not going to get into it right now, but I appreciate you sending it to me. I appreciate the email here. We'll get into more of this in a minute. Lots to get into. All right, let's continue. Thank you guys again so much. I'm trying to think here. Oh, we got the previous super chats. Means a lot. These videos always get demonetized. So obviously you guys know this. The super chats definitely keep us doing. Otherwise, I make shorter form of content. But if you guys are here for me, I'm here for you. All right. So they emphasize extreme fraud. Plaintiff was never pregnant, and all allegations stemming from the fictitious pregnancy are fraudulent. As a result of plaintiff's gross inconsistent fraud, the entire matter is tainted. For clarity, plaintiff testified on March 1st, 2024, that she obtained the sonogram on July 7th, 2023 at Planned Parenthood in Mission Viejo, California, and then edited medical records to add her name and falsely attribute it to SMIL. Regardless of the source, neither SMIL nor Planned Parenthood have any records for any ultrasound appointments for plaintiff. So regardless if there even was a ultrasound that you could get at Planned Parenthood, which Megan Fox has confirmed at the Mission Viejo location, you cannot. They have yet to get that information. Background. Defendant states as follows. On October 6, 2023, plaintiff obtained an ex parte order of protection against defendant, indicated that one party was pregnant by the other. Her order, okay, so that's the thing, right? If she got the order of protection and didn't mention it's because she was pregnant. Now, we remember in the sun, Mr. Golden Sun, please shine down on me. Remember the sun, which she flew too close to the sun, Greek mythology style. But in the gossip rag, the sun, she claimed in her initial article, where she was anonymous, that she was afraid for the safety of her unborn twins. That's what she claimed. So that, I mean, what do you want? What do you want from her? She claimed there that she was pregnant, and now Clayton's side is saying, well, looking back on it, if she wasn't pregnant, everything that had to do with the order of protection was fraud. Her order alleged, among other things, that defendant was cyberbullying her on Reddit. Not true. Posting private and confidential information, including medical history, that he could only have access to because of their paternity case surrounding claim that she was pregnant with his twins. The entirety of plaintiff's allegations in her order of protection surrounds the existence of medical evidence to support her fictitious pregnancy. On October 25th, a contested hearing was held before Judge Duty. Plaintiff testified to having attended various medical appointments to confirm her pregnancy, including the ultrasound appointment for the sonogram at issue, and specifically relied on by this court. This was a lie, as the sonogram was fabricated, and medical providers have affirmed that plaintiff never attended any pregnancy-related appointments. This information you did not read in her attorney's recollection of this appointment, right? Of this trial. So if part of why she got an order of protection was because she claimed she had an ultrasound and now we find out that ultrasound was fraudulent or didn't exist, well, I think you got to throw out the order of protection. The same day the court, and that's just my opinion, the same date, the court granted plaintiff's order of protection solely based on the following image posted below, which defendant allegedly posted anonymously on Reddit, which defendant vehemently denies. Plaintiff testified contained a sonogram that she only sent defendant. So she's saying all that Clayton and Greg, they must be on Reddit because these things came out, which we know Jane Doe sent her Dropbox link and kept it public so people could find this, like the public found this information on her own. Don't forget to hit the like button, please, an odd number of times. Exhibit 3 says this is either the same sonogram plaintiff has admitted to changing and that the alleged source of the sonogram has no records of, or one of the other sonograms that plaintiff has testified she did not obtain. Parenthetically, plaintiff herself also posted all the alleged sonograms on a public Dropbox on Reddit and emailed the records to various journalists and media. So that's the deal. Is that She got this order of protection against Clayton. The judge wouldn't let Clayton share any of the evidence that showed point blank he didn't leak any of this stuff. She got the order of protection because she claimed he leaked it. We know he didn't. Relevant law. Where not inconsistent with the... so do we need to get into the relevant law here? No, we don't need to get into that. Fraud, as defined by Rule 85, can be either intrinsic or extrinsic. This is good. It's good they've got the definition of fraud here. Both justify relief from a judgment. Extrinsic fraud is fraud upon the court and concerns the procurement of a judgment. Extrinsic fraud has effect of which prevents a party from having a trial or from presenting all of his case to the court, or which operates not upon matters pertaining to the judgment itself, but to the matters in which it is procured. Conversely, intrinsic fraud pertains to matters of judgment itself, and therefore is concerned solely with fraudulent conduct that occurs within the proceedings. Both forms of fraud constitute the fraud for the purposes here. Argument. Plaintiff committed fraud in her October 6th petition for order of protection. Plaintiff committed fraud extrinsic when she filed her petition, which the court relied on in order to grant the order, and falsely claimed she was pregnant by defendant. In her petition, plaintiff alleges that defendant had threatened her since discovering she was pregnant. Defendant has posted personal and sensitive information about her because of their paternity case. Scottsdale PD had called defendant. Defendant was anonymously posting private and confidential information, including facts about her medical history, and plaintiff feared for her safety. All of these allegations are fraudulent. Thank you guys so much for the super chats. Kelly with $5. Baby Jane Dodo, and then Brenda with $2 says thank you for the entertainment. And blah 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 says, has Clayton tried to get Scottsdale PD huge file? Yeah, I think they've tried to get the police involved, but right now, I think the court system, as it's playing out, is the best sort of scenario here. But here it is, bold and underlined. All of these allegations are fraudulent. I'm going to turn my mic up because I'm losing my voice. Let me see if I can get some water here, guys. Pray for my voice. Little to no vocal cords. Michael says Jane Doe is a dumpster fire and her family is the gasoline truck. That's a there you go. All right, let's continue here. Can you guys hear me okay? Is there any ground noise? Are we good? All right. So they said all these allegations are fraudulent. Plaintiff, oh boy, I'm only on page 6 and my voice is already gone. Plaintiff was never pregnant. The parties never had intercourse. Plaintiff has provided no verifiable medical records to confirm pregnancy, and every provider she testified to being seen by has confirmed they have no records for plaintiff. There are no sonograms, no monthly follow-up appointments. There is simply no evidence that plaintiff was ever pregnant, and certainly not within defendant's twins. To make matters worse, plaintiff has since testified that she had a miscarriage in September, predating her filing this order of protection. Because plaintiff was never pregnant and could not have been pregnant from fellatio, which is the art of the swallow, not the bird, and or she is now alleging she miscarried prior to Clayton's bald eagle. That's a bird. That's not a swallow. That's a bird, though. And she is now alleging she miscarried prior to filing the order of protection. The entirety of plaintiff's underlying order of protection is fraud upon the court. Plaintiff's representation of herself in an ex parte filing as pregnant with defendant's twins and a victim of defendant maliciously claiming she was not pregnant and posting medical evidence online ostensibly led the court into granting her order of protection. We certainly have Michael Maricini's back. To be fair, Flair said if Clayton gets the W in family court, he can use that to bolster his criminal complaint, get the civil win to pursue criminal charges. Not a lawyer, but paralegal here. Max says LO is a mentally unbalanced person and the court should serve her correctly by sending her to therapy with a locked unit. Vicky Nader says a simple Google search would tell you that 102 isn't evidence of anything. It's too low. Agree with you there. 1,200 people in the chat. Thank you guys all so much. Plaintiff deliberately withheld from the court that she was not pregnant or that she had miscarried the feigned pregnancy at the time of the hearing and that she altered the medical records she alleged defendant was anonymously sharing online, which he vehemently denies in order to procure judgment against defendant. Therefore, the court's judgment granting plaintiff's order on October 6, 2023 must be set aside because fraud was practiced in the very act of obtaining it. Without this critical material information, neither the defendant nor this court had the full and fair opportunity to litigate and discharge their respective duties. Plaintiff committed fraud, intrinsic and extrinsic, when she testified before Judge Duty regarding a sonogram on October 25th, leading Judge Duty to uphold the order. While arguably the entirety of plaintiff's testimony regarding her alleged pregnancy was fraud, the court explicitly indicated that it was granting the order of protection based on the sonogram depicted in the image inserted above. So we're going to show that image in a second here. The way you so the judge said, the way you publish this photo, it's unflattering. That's my reason for making my decision. That being, I believe, the Halloween photo. Plaintiff committed fraud when she testified as to the existence of the sonogram, which she has since admitted she altered, and that the source of the ultrasound, Planned Parenthood or SMIL, was indicated they have no records of the ultrasound ever taking place because they are fake. Plaintiff committed fraud when plaintiff testified she sent defendant in a member of the media. The sonogram, by the way, that is Reality Steve, depicted in the image at issue, but only defendant could have posted the image containing the sonogram. Plaintiff testified that the main image, the one of her pregnant in a bra in yoga pants, had already been published online, but that the sonogram was not. For the record, October 25th, 2023, in reality, both were published by plaintiff on Reddit in a publicly accessible Dropbox. She does this stuff, right? She goes to the different departments. She went to, the Scottsdale police and said, oh, Greg must be the guy behind these 30 accounts because he's the only one who has information. She makes these giant leaps in logic. And by the way, she also called the FBI on me for sharing a blurred out, didn't share her face, but a blurred out image that she had already shared, which was her with her belly. Plaintiff testified that the main image, the one of her pregnant in a bra and yoga pants, we got that. Plaintiff testified that she sent defendant the ultrasound photo and ultrasound video, and that she had an ultrasound report to accompany the July 7th sonogram. Again, no ultrasound records exist as there was never any ultrasound. Now, also, do I have a defamation case against her? Well, I don't have any plans on filing one because, that's not the battle I'm trying to fight. But with that said, she did email what I believe to be a large number of my colleagues, telling them that she sent me medical information that I'm ignoring. And if you take Dave's side, I'm going to sue you guys for defamation. So she's already attempted to smear me in front of my peers. Some peers, by the way, that don't return my text messages anymore. And it definitely bums me out that some people have distanced themselves from me, from what I believe to be is completely ridiculous information. You guys know this. We're just sharing the truth here. But some people that might not know what's going on, maybe they blocked me, I couldn't tell you, have decided to, during a time where I'm getting a lot of love from a lot of people, about my, what's going on with my life. There are crickets from some people I thought were really good friends of mine. And in part, I have to wonder if it's because she emailed them saying, I sent Dave all the medical records. The only medical record she ever sent me was a fraudulent HCG test that said she had something like 134,000 HCG count. And we just found out on Friday it's really a 102. So it's a bummer. But, I've made a lot more friends through this, through people that want to pursue justice here. But, I'd be lying if I said it's not a bummer, some of the fallout that has happened because of this case. As the court explicitly stated that the sole, not to make it about me, that's just my perspective. Guys like Mike and Clayton and Greg have had to deal with far worse. As the court explicitly stated that the sole reason it was upholding the order of protection was because of the image containing the sonogram, plaintiff committed fraud upon the court, extrinsic. Plaintiff withheld to the court that she had doctored the sonogram and that the alleged ultrasound where she obtained the sonogram had never taken place because it is a fake. Therefore, the court's judgment upholding plaintiff's order of protection on October 25th must be set aside because fraud was practiced in the very act of obtaining it. Bates v. Bates. Thanks, guys. Thank you all so much. Oh, do we have a rude person in the chat? What's going on? We have someone who's a little sour in the chat. We got a sour Samantha in the chat. Miriam says, I talk too much. How funny is that? We put her in a timeout. Miriam, you're in a timeout. You've been a bad girl, Miriam. You've been a bad, bad girl. The defendant is entitled to his reasonable attorney's fees and costs incurred in this entire action, including filing this motion for relief from judgment. All right. If anyone wants to donate a super chat on behalf of Miriam, she's in timeout. I'm just kidding, guys. Defendant is entitled to his fees and costs. So they're basically saying because of all this fraud, Clayton is entitled to receive the fees for dealing with all this nonsense. Plaintiff was fully aware of the true nature and circumstances underpinning her perjurious statements in which she admitted medical evidence on October 6th and 25th. She knew she was not pregnant, that she had not received an ultrasound for alleged twin pregnancy, and that the sonogram she had proffered was created by her. Provided. Defendant had to incur a significant cost and fees unraveling plaintiff's web of lies, which included having to defend himself against her malicious filing of the underlying order of protection. Defendant is entitled to his reasonable attorney's fees and costs expended defending himself against plaintiff in filing this motion. All right. Hey, Kathleen with the super sticker. Thank you so much for that. One more super chat and we'll take Miriam out of timeout. Or maybe not. I don't know. Maybe we will. Maybe we'll leave her in there. Miriam is the sister here. X-Files music. We got the X-Files music. Could it be that family members? Hold on, I can't find the button here. Could it be? Elizabeth said, leave Miriam in there. All right, we'll leave Miriam in there. Sorry, Miriam, we've taken away your First Amendment rights. Cue the 1-star reviews. Yeah, I mean, the fees are unraveling plaintiff's web of lies. It's so complicated to address all of it. There's probably about 2,000 people that are following this on the day-to-day, maybe a little bit more. But the grand public just doesn't even know that this is still going on. Oh, we have a donation for Miriam from Paul Berry. Thank you, Paul, for giving Miriam some love here. We can all pray for Miriam. Absolutely. I don't know if it won't show me how to I guess she'll be in timeout for an extended amount of time. Rosalind says a streamer that talks too much. Yeah, what do you want? I can mime if you want. There is absolutely no suggestion that plaintiff's attorney for the order of protection had any knowledge that he was presenting fabricated medical records. Although plaintiff has a history of fraud, the extent of which includes but is not limited to 3 known prior victims who have claimed they were subjected to similar false pregnancy, it was not yet fully exposed until well after this protective order proceeding. Wherefore, defendant respectfully requests the court dismiss the order in its entirety with prejudice, grant leave to defendant to submit a child doll affidavit, award defendant his reasonable attorney's fees, and order such further relief as the court deems just, including a pending consequence to the current outstanding sanction request pending adjudication from Judge Mata. So the exhibits are going to get interesting, okay? And some of these we'll just fly over. Claude says Miriam's just hangry. Jane Jones says I'm here to hear Dave talk. Amy said this is my 3rd live stream today with Dave, so we obviously doesn't bother me. I appreciate you so much. Thank you. What is a child doll affidavit? I could tell you, but I would get it wrong. Child doll affidavit. Let's see what that is. Did I say child's doll? Is a child doll different than a child? Is a child doll. Bruce said, my audio is muted. Everybody play nice. Thank you, Bruce, for chilling here in the chat. Billie Jean said with a 35, is that Zimbabwe money? Is that a Zimbabwe ruble? Said, Dave, please Google South of Africa 10 babies hoax. Massive media fraud case in 2021 here in South Africa. I will look into that. Thank you so much. 10 baby hoax, South Africa, 10 baby hoax. Am I doing this right? I spelled South wrong. A sextortion scams on the rise. Interesting. The fake. Okay. We'll have to get into this later. I'll have to find the right stuff to check it out here. Don Lee with a $10 super chat. Perjurious penalty to enjoy peaceful periods of placid calm. Thank you for that perjurious super chat. Much appreciated. Let me just make sure I haven't missed any here. Thank you guys all so much. All right. So let's go through the exhibits. You're going to see my name mentioned in them. I don't know how much of this we need to go into. This is the deposition. It looks like when Corey Keith was around, and this was reality Steve email. They've got that in here. Pregnant stomach video, which we believe to be her sister. Email to reality Steve. Email to reality Steve. Those, of course, were huge emails that showed the ultrasound in question. So they said, you have no problem expanding the HIPAA release to Planned Parenthood. Again, this is the deposition. She says, no. Have you seen any other providers? No, just the one visit in summer of 2023 to the location in Mission Viejo. Yes. And of course, she talks about, I saw a doctor at Mom Doc. I don't recall. I saw a provider at Banner Urgent Care. I think her name was Tamara, something with an L. There's no L in Tamara. And she, I think, she might have been a nurse practitioner. I saw a doctor at Planned Parenthood in Mission Viejo. So then it goes on and on. We don't need to see ultrasound. She talks about the ultrasound from Planned Parenthood. Did he go into a facility? This is where she claims that she admits that she changed the ultrasound. They said, so this is where we go back to the issue of you being able to plead the fifth. You acknowledge you had a medical document that you changed, and you are telling me right now that that's the only one I have to know about? She said, yes. What software did you use? Adobe Acrobat. Where were you when you changed it? At my house. Okay, first of all, her house? You mean your mom's house where you live as a grown woman? No offense to people that live with their parents here, but maybe it's time to move out. Wouldn't that be nice? Motion to ask Jane Doe to move out of her parents' house. Quit sharing their Wi-Fi. At what point were you going to tell my office or your own attorney that you doctored a medical record? She said, I mean, as I said, it's my ultrasound. Oh, she's not allowed to switch. I mean, it's her ultrasound. She's not allowed to switch it. Bonnie Platter subsequently withdrew from representing you. I just didn't re-up the retainer because it was $5,000 gone through in a week. So she's spending so much money. Changing the word SMIL on the exhibit. Did you change anything? No. I am going to give you an opportunity now because we are 3 years into this and a year into this case. Is it the only document you have altered? Yes. So she says right there, it's the only document she's ever altered, right? Now, again, since this March 1st deposition, which we go, oh my gosh, there's nothing more that we could find on this case. We've seen it all. What else could there be? Well, since then, we've seen the Sonora ultrasound, which was clearly doctored, and a flipping $5 timestamp on a previous ultrasound from Greg Gillespie. One Rad Tech with a $2 super chat. Thank you so much. We love our twos here. Those add up. Appreciate you. Jessica said page 84 of the deposition says that video ultrasound isn't hers. We'll see if we get to page 84 here. Wait a second. Is this page 84? Oh, there it is on the right. Okay, thank you. So there's actually no audio of this, but I'm going to show it to you. Do you see Exhibit 10? That's a video dated September 5th, 2023. Is that yours? No. I never stated that it was mine. I was asked that by Dave Neal. The Exhibit 10, which is a sonogram, SMIL sonogram. What's the identifying info? What's the other identifying information? GA, 17 weeks, 0 days. So you admit that the sonogram in Exhibit 10 is not yours. Exhibit, okay, yes, that's not mine. So she says, and again, I'll pull it up here on my Instagram, but she says that this exhibit isn't hers. I'm just going to pull up the reel that I have. Give me a moment here. I got to go ways back here. But it's, clearly we've got evidence, which I'm prepared to share with the courts. We have evidence. Why I want to go further back, that this email was sent to her, from her to Reality Steve. Now, I don't know why I keep on saying the truth and people keep getting it wrong. She never emailed me the ultrasound. She emailed this ultrasound to Reality Steve. Again, the one on the bottom, she claims to be hers from September 5th. The one on the top, which you're about to see, is the one that we. So she claims, guys, she's going to claim in these emails that I fabricated this ultrasound that exists online, that has been online for 8 years. She's about to, or 6 years. She's about to claim I made that up. So we can see right here, this is the ultrasound. 17 weeks, 0 days, right? That's what she claims is hers. So this is what they're talking about right here. This lines up. Exhibit 10, 17 weeks and 0 days. So you admit that the sonogram in Exhibit 10 is not yours. She says, that's not mine. What the hell? I mean, how do we even argue that? She uploaded it. It shows in the metadata. She uploaded it. She not only uploaded it, she emailed it to Steve. And yet somehow I'm being accused. And it's really, I mean, it's really offensive that it's taking away that my credibility. I'm being accused of fabricating this ultrasound. Are you kidding me? Guys. This is why I make my content every day, so you can look at an 8th-month timeline of me sharing this stuff straight from, I mean, look, I'm going to share it with you guys right now. I'm going to go to it right now. Now, hold on. I'm going to go on my email, and I have to make sure that I don't share everything. Oh, by the way, Barbara just Venmo'd us $10. Thank you so much, Barbara. But I'm going to share an email from Steve Carbone that was initially from her that shows us the ultrasounds in the ultrasound that came out of her account. We're going to see it literally come out of her account. 1 second here. To see, this is why I don't do it live, because I have to find it now. And then we'll call it like ultrasound. And it was, she also shared proof that, she shared whatever proof she had that it was, let's see, Steve at realitysteve.com. So let me just go here. Steve, reality. So what I'm going to show with you guys is she claims this is her truth, right? She shared all of this stuff. She asked us to stop reporting on it. She goes back and forth and just nonstop hogwash. And now she's claiming that I'm fabricating this stuff. It's absolutely wild. Let's see if I can find it right here. I'm looking at so many different emails from them. Hold on, I'll get it. You guys know I have it. We'll go back to it. I mean, I made it in a million videos. You guys have seen in a million videos. Christopher with a $10 super chat. Thank you for getting me through work. You're doing amazing. Keep it up. All right, appreciate it. Thank you so much. You guys are the best. But either way, you guys know I've shared without a shadow of a doubt this information that was out there. And yet now we're seeing them say, well, actually, I think Dave just made it up. Haven't they been on my Instagram? Haven't they been on my YouTube videos? We shared the emails that came in with all of the metadata. We shared the Dropbox, which had the same file. I mean, I literally did it in a long form video. Dreamwreck with a $6 super chat. Thank you so much for the tea. I appreciate it. GJB said, if everyone donated $5, you'd have enough money to fight them. I think if they actually follow through on a defamation lawsuit, we will raise hundreds of thousands of dollars. I truthfully mean that. I'm prepared to do whatever level of publicity I need to do to get the media to cover this and to show. I mean, I don't even think it would make it past the judge, to be quite honest. But I'm not here because I want to call their bluffs. I'm here to say they're accusing me of lying. And unlike her, I will prove that I'm not lying. Chris Jenner with a $5 super chat. Thank you so much. Clayton said in his interview with the Tiny Leg Man that he contacted the owner of the YouTube channel that uploaded the ultrasound video. Very interesting. And by the way, I'll be the first to tell you this right now. The ultrasound image that was used to convince Greg Gillespie that she was pregnant with him, the one with the Fiverr timestamp, the people that own that image are retaining legal counsel. And maybe this is breaking news that I'm telling you guys for the first time. They are not happy. Let me tell you one thing you shouldn't do. You shouldn't fuck with YouTubers. You shouldn't do that. But more importantly, you should not get on the bad side of a mom. You should not get on the bad side of a mom. I don't know how else to put that, guys. it is a very good idea to keep moms happy, because you get on the bad side of a mom. Let's say you stole an ultrasound that involved one of the most tragic and sad moments of somebody's life, which is losing a twin, and you use that for your own gain with a $5 timestamp. I'm telling you right now, I would be very worried about whatever possible legal actions could be taken, because you just fucked with an angry mom. I'm telling you right now, I'm the least scary person in this joint. I'm telling you right now. Yo, whoops. You done pissed somebody off. Okay? You done pissed somebody off. And we have a lot of love for that person. I can't imagine what they went through 8 years ago. But to reopen and rip open those wounds, shame on you. Christine says, Mama Bear energy. How about that? How about that TED Talk? How about the victim of that fraud TED Talk? Wow. I'll be sitting front row for that one. Woo, boy. You done messed up. Hell hath no fury like a mama scorned. Mama bears. That's right. Got a lot of mama bears in these crowds. All right. So the deposition goes on and on. She says that she changed the date of birth. She changed the top. I think they have had my, she just doesn't remember. She doesn't remember the lot, okay. By the way, thank you for again. Daniel, thank you for the, says, has her lawyer never heard of anti-slap? Yeah. Well, I don't know. Amy says, Dave, Southern accent done down there cracks me up. Oh, you like my Southern accent? I can talk Southern accent all day long. You done messed with the wrong mama out there. Let me tell you that much. I go Southern Tennessee. Susan says HIPAA laws don't play either. All right. And it continues. All right. So we don't really need to see this. We've already seen the deposition, although it will be nice to. So we're looking through the exhibits. This is the hearing, of course, ordered, the order of protection. The court finds by a preponderance of the evidence that there is reasonable cause to believe that defendant has committed an act of DV. How wild is that? That the court found that Clayton Eckerd, by a preponderance of evidence, has reasonable cause to have committed an act of DV. It is ordered that the order of protection issued at Superior Court on October 6th shall remain in full force and effect. Let the record further reflect that the parties receive a copy of the aforementioned documents in open court. Let the record further reflect that plaintiffs exhibit 2 through 10, 12 through 18, and exhibits 19 through 33, and 36 through 50 are disposed. Counsel for plaintiff makes an oral motion to withdraw from these proceedings. Well, plaintiff's oral motion is the reason why we're here in the first place. Come on, folks.
Oh my God.
All right, there it is. Suck on these nuts. Come on, it's my nuts audience. Where my nuts at? Come on, folks. We're doing it. We're having fun. Let's get into it. I'm reaching for the tab. All right. All right, here it is. So anyway.
I just took a DNA test.
Did you, though? I'm not really sure if you did. Show us the results. Let the record reflect the court did not invoke. Okay, so it goes on and on. So Clayton wants that overturned. Sure. How to win the scariest costume contest. This was posted in Bachelor Nation. This is their evidence. This was a photo that people were saying must have been Clayton. They also accused me. Again, the FBI got involved. Yada, yada, yada. By the way, now I would like to look at the forensics of this, now that we are getting a little bit better at looking at forensics. Anyhow, oral motions, they'll do it to you. Exhibit 4. This was an email. And so this is where it gets tough to kind of read, because, it starts to get a little personal. This is an email from this week, from her attorney to Clayton's attorney. This letter serves, and by the way, we're going to read his response right now. We're going to read Woodnick's response right now. And he wishes he didn't play ball. This letter serves as written notice, blah, blah, blah. Summary of specific issues. The most serious violation in your motion is the number of knowingly false statements of fact that it contains. At this point in the case, you cannot claim that these statements are simple mistakes or that you did not have enough information to know the truth. In addition, the sheer number of factual misstatements made it appear you are intentionally trying to defraud the court by advancing a narrative that you know or reasonably should know is completely and totally false. By the way, this is from her attorney. From her attorney. So he emailed it and sent it by U.S. mail. That's weird. The most serious violation in your motion is okay. Below is a list of the specific false factual statements contained in the motion. And to be clear, I draw a distinction between an allegation that you claim is true, but which you know is disputed and unproven, in a representation where you avow something has been factually established and is no longer disputed. In other words, I have no problem with you saying Clayton claims redacted was never pregnant. This is an accurate statement of the case. Same as if I file a pleading which says, Jane claims Clayton arid her. Accurate summaries of disputed allegations are always okay, but I do have a serious problem with you making an unqualified representation to the court that Jane was never pregnant, as if that has actually been established as fact. Well, the only evidence we have is that there's been little to no fetal DNA, not even Clayton's, but any fetal DNA. But I do have a serious problem with you making an unqualified representation to the court that Jane was never pregnant. Accurate statements about the disputed claims are fair. False representations about the facts are not. Having said that, I believe the following statements violate Rule 26B because they constitute statements of fact which you present as being established facts when you know they are heavily contested and in some aspects have already been shown to be completely false. Plaintiff was never pregnant by defendant. This statement violates the rule because it is presented as a statement of fact, but you know it has never been proven to be true. This is what it gets so complicated to prove that she's never been pregnant. You also know the statement is directly contradicted by extensive evidence, including no fewer than 5 pregnancy tests taken before the case was filed, multiple pregnancy tests taken after the case was filed, and at least 1 pregnancy test taken in front of Mr. Eckert using a test that he purchased and provided to Jane Doe. You also know the statement is directly refuted by the expert opinion of Dr. Medchill. That's their new expert. Plaintiff has provided no verifiable medical evidence to support her alleged twin pregnancy. The statement violates the rule because you know it is factually false. Blank has provided extensive evidence, some of which is attached to Dr. Medchill's expert report. Redacted has also testified under oath about these issues, and she has provided an affidavit attached to Medchill's report explaining and summarizing the extensive medical evidence supporting her claim. I understand you do not accept this evidence as conclusive, but that is entirely different to telling the court that no evidence exists when you know it does. So the issue here seems to be that the lack of any ultrasounds is what Woodnick is going by as no evidence, right? Oh my gosh, we have a lot of super chats. Did I catch up on these? Iron Rabbit said, if she sues you, crowdfund your defense attorney. We will all contribute if needed. Thank you so much. Stephanie said, thanks for sharing. Sounds as like blame shifting to me. How offensive that they do this to you. Got your back. Stephanie with the thank you so much, Stephanie. I appreciate that. Wendy with a $5 said, being a mom and grandma, don't you dare mess with my kids. I will open a huge can of whoop ass on you. Oh, Wendy, we love to hear it. Daniel says we got that one already. And then Debbie said, Mama Bears unite. All right. So we continue. The statement violates the rule because you know it is actually false. So they said, to date, every obstetrician and gynecologist have indicated they have no records that she was never seen as a patient. The statement violates the rule because you know it is factually false. It also violates the rule because you intentionally omit additional information in order to make the statement misleading. In terms of falsity, as you know, Jane has produced medical records from MomDoc, an OB/GYN facility, showing she was seen there as a patient on November 14th. If you somehow missed this, those records, which I believe were previously disclosed before I got involved, are attached to Dr. Medchill's report as shown below. So they said, to date, every obstetrician and gynecologist have indicated they have no records as she was never seen as a patient. I guess they're referring to the HIPAA reports where she said there would be information and there wasn't. So yes, the Sonara Quest HCG test, Exhibit 5 here, we have shown to be doctored. Now, this might be the original, but the one that she sent me was doctored. The epilepsy doesn't do anything. There's no doctor. There's no, I believe these ones, Banner Health is HCG, and these other ones are just epilepsy as a psychologist or whatever. He continues, your statements also violate the rule because it fails to explain you have received confirmation from other OBGYNs, such as Dr. McCool, confirming that Jane made appointments to receive care, but she had to cancel for totally benign reasons, such as testing positive for COVID. That omission clearly was intended to create a false impression that there was zero evidence that Jane ever sought any care from anyone and that she had no valid. All right, so now he's going back to the sought care. You got to be kidding me. She sought care, but she didn't receive care. That's what it's going back to. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Whoo boy. I'd like to seek some super chats. I would like to seek a super chat. Let's see if we'll receive a super chat. I'm just kidding. Further emphasizing the extreme fraud in this court, other sonograms of the alleged twin pregnancy curiously match up with sonograms and YouTube videos posted from years ago online. This statement violates Rule 26 because it falsely implies there is any evidence to show Jane created a fake sonogram using an old YouTube video. You know that is 100% false. Okay, let's see if we have any fans in the audience right now. As you know, the facts are as follows: Dave Neal previously disclosed an alleged video of a sonogram with Jane's name on it. My understanding is this was an exhibit at Jane's deposition. It was a file marked Exhibit 9, sonogram video SMIL 9523.mov, and a screenshot is shown below. I believe this is the YouTube video you mentioned in your motion. All right, looks good to me. Jane's testimony about this point has never wavered. She says Dave Neal sent it to her after he claimed to have received it from an anonymous source. No. This ultrasound was sent from Jane to Reality Steve. Okay? I've never not said that. If Jane has ever asked me for a source, I would tell her I don't reveal my sources. It's very obvious now that this was sent from Steve. Maybe at the time, we didn't say where it came from, but we know that she sent it to Steve and to Clayton. We have the email. Jane asked Dave to disclose the source, and he never did. Well, I wouldn't disclose any sources. Based on this, Jane's belief is that Dave or someone working with him created the fake video. Hold on. We got to get real conspiratorial. Push the light. Oh, hold on, wrong one. Dave created the fake video in an effort to smear Jane Doe and help Clayton Echard. That will be obviously part of the defamation lawsuit Jane plans to bring against both Clayton and Dave and others once this matter is over. How do you feel about that, folks? You think that's a kind way to welcome me into this nice little world we have here? We expose the truth here. So by the way, let's just go to it. Let's go to, here's what we'll do. We're going to go to, give me a second to look this up. I'm going to find it from an old video, and we can just look at the old video, which has been kind of the video I'm going to share with you guys is the playlist. Hold on, let's go here. I'm going to show my public playlist that has all of the Jane Doe content. And you're going to see right here, playlists, right? I've got a public playlist. And then here it is. I know it's a lot. View full playlist. So we first exposed this a while ago, right? We exposed this a while ago. Clayton exposes fake ultrasound. Proof it is fake. So I made a 25-minute long video right here. Okay, a 25-minute long video which shares all the aspects. By the way, I made this video. I spent all night working on it. I think I made this video at like 3 a.m. because I was leaving on a trip and I wanted to make sure that I got the truth out there. So I'm going to go forward to the parts where, he shared this, of course, which was, essentially like he's happy. He finds out he's not the dad. And again, while he's still fighting this current one, but this is what he had to say at the time. Let's go to it. By the way, can you hear this okay? I got to make sure you guys can hear this. Let's make sure you guys can hear this first before I go any further. No sound. Okay, no sound. Good. All right. So thank you. Let's go back here and I'm going to find the way to do this. So hold on. So if I share the window right here, I think that should give me the sound. Let me know if you guys can hear it now. You have to share tab. I think I'm sharing it now, but let's just go one more time to double check we are sharing this. I'll get it one of these days. Share Chrome tab. I see. Okay, here it is. We are now sharing the Chrome tab right here. Okay.
And showed me the ultrasound video. I already had my suspicions because, again, I already knew that this was not real. And this morning I found the YouTube video that this woman ripped the video from.
So I guess she's now claiming that Clayton, in an effort to smear her, worked with me to create this 7-year video and secretly upload it to her Dropbox. Huh. Okay.
So she took the ultrasound from a YouTube clip from 6 years ago. That is also confirmed. I put them side by side. They are the exact same video. This is the craziest thing I've ever been a part of. I just ask that people cover the truth at this point. I've lost out. I just got a call this morning. I lost out on another speaking engagement. I've lost out on tens of thousands of dollars. So hopefully the truth will now get out and save me.
You can hear from Clayton's voice. He's telling me there's still no sound. Someone said no sound still. Are we good on sound? Are we good on sound? So anyway, I continue, right? And I share all this information. So this is her sonogram. We see baby B, baby A. And you go, well, it's not exactly the same. I mean, it's got a completely different header. I've taken out her name. All right, so we see how we compare it all. And I post my editing software, Adobe Premiere Pro. So I guess they're accusing me. I guess what the accusation they're making is that this YouTube video on the left, 6 years old, is one that we found. She's accusing us of finding it and changing it. And why? Because this is called reverse engineering, folks. I reverse engineered it and showed all of the ways in which she edited this to make it more sort of convincing for her. I'm trying to pull it up. She's right here, right here. So you're going to see the difference. Why do I show you the difference? Well, the original being 3 minutes long plays out. Hers is cut up. So what I did is I cut up her ultrasound. And again, this might be very specific and but I think a lot of people will respect this right now. I cut up her ultrasound. We did this back in the day when we covered Johnny Depp. Amber Heard was TV because why people don't go on the left. That says twin gender seen at 13 weeks. That's the left and that's the right. So what I did right here in this moment is I synced them up perfectly. And you might say, how could you sync them up perfectly? I am going to overlap them on top of each other so you see that it is one cohesive heartbeat. This might sound redundant, folks, but I don't want there to be a shadow of a doubt that I didn't do my research here. So here they are. And this says sync begins. By the way, I'm very proud of Dave Neal from 7 months ago. I'm very proud of, or 8 months ago, I'm very proud of him for doing all of this work. So when they would claim that this was me making it all up, here you go. Have a watch, have a gander. Let's put it to fit it right here. So this is where the sync begins. I will label where the sync ends. We're watching it now. It ends right now. Oh, excuse me. You see the placenta on both sides, hits at the same exact second, and that's where the sync begins, and the sync ends right here. Now, the video on the left shows that baby B is there and points out, and now it syncs again. So she edited out this part right here. So the reason why I believe she edited that out is because on the 6-year-old ultrasound, the genders don't line up with what she said it was. Exactly the same. And I'm showing you the full video. Then the sync ends. We see the left. Now the sync comes back one more time. So what she did here is she edited out the part where baby B is a boy. Why? She claims that she's got a boy and a girl. And this 6-year-old ultrasound is 2 boys. So baby B is a boy. She got rid of that. And then the sync comes back again one final time right there. very clearly see it. No time code moving. Sync again. Sync ends on her end. And then the video on the left goes on into more detail. Baby A, baby B sitting on it. So why, first of all, I would never want to get Reality Steve sucked into this, but why would they accuse me of fabricating this when I got this from Reality Steve, who of course got it from her? But the reason why we have Clayton there, explaining it all is because Clayton got the email too. So he was able to see at the same time that it was fake. And with you simply to keep you, simply so you keep them in mind with your audience, not so you can analyze them, which by the way, all right. How's this for manipulative with your public audience? I have shared them with you simply to keep you, simply so you keep them in mind with your audience, not so you can analyze them. So she wanted to share this with us to believe her, but not to analyze it. These are her words. These are emails from her, or was she also hacked when she did this? By the way, who shares evidence that they don't want analyzed or held up to scrutiny?
I don't know.
We shared her evidence in good faith because, as you might remember, last week while I was in the Maldives on vacation, she said, "You're only sharing Clayton's side of the story. You're not sharing my side of the story." And I said, "I'll share your side of the story. People are telling me that she's playing me like a fiddle. I'll share your side of the story. We will take your evidence in the court of public opinion here and get it somewhere where that if you further delete it or move it, we'll have the timestamps and like I can take my videos down, but they still exist privately for me. So even for the videos of hers that I've taken down, it is evidence that exists out there." And by the way, I've put those videos back up on Patreon. They're kind of irrelevant at this point because so much has changed. But either way, so I responded to her and I said, "Hey, Jane, please let me know. I just want to make sure someone isn't floating around doctored or false ultrasound sonograms of yours. Is this the sonogram you've referenced of yours that you don't want shared? Cheers, Dave." And then I didn't underline this. I'm underlining this for you to show the timestamps. I shared the sonogram. I said, "Is this yours?" She says, "No, that's not mine." She then further went on to email me, which I'm not going to share with you, and say, "Was this the doing of the guy who," she said his name, we'll call him Gary. That's not his name. But she said, "Was this the doing of Gary? He's trying to make fake doctorate evidence, so I'm not believable, this and that." And I said, so this is where she started accusing Greg Gillespie of doctoring all this evidence, which on Friday we showed her audio recordings that show that she actually, and by the way, I got to give a lot of credit to her, her attorney here, when they're threatening to sue me. This threat that they're making came out before we exposed 2 new cases of fraud by her. "No, I don't know." I said, "I don't know who's doing this. This was being passed around. I don't know who this is from." Well, we found out. We found out who the initial ultrasound is from, and I'm going to share that with you. By the way, thank you so much for the kind words. Luis said, and I love a good compliment, you know my love language, "Dave, you are so damn smart." Oh, thank you. "To do all of this coverage that you've done in this case to protect yourself. I don't know how many people would have been so smart to document all of this and share it." Well, that's because she can do dirty deletes on her end, but I've got it all on video, and I've known I'm telling the truth the whole time. So I've got it all on video. I've got my intonation, my tone, my believability, my name, and everything else staked to what I'm saying right here. And for those reasons alone, I do not fear her. Ashley said, "Seek and you shall find." $10. Thank you, Ashley. We are seeking and we are finding. Christina said, "Seek and you shall receive," unless you are Jane Doe. We'll appreciate both of those. We'll seek, we'll find, we'll receive. KC Cat, $5. Excuse me, BRB, "Need to read a story to my goldfish about how ridiculous and evil Janie Dodo Bird III and her lawyers are." Thank you. And Tess Mox, $5. "Mom of 3 grown kids, got grandkids, raised a grandkid. Don't mess with any child. She has no clue what she's opened up. P.S. Congrats." Janet with 10 Canadian dollars says, "I've lost 2 pregnancies. Jane needs to be stopped. Mama and grandma bears unite." We appreciate you and we're sorry for your loss. Elle said, "Check into 1v2 fetal sex and all of her evidence for fraternal versus identical twins. She claims 2 sacks. That was 1 in the sonogram." Yeah, I mean, at this point, it's like she did the same thing with Greg Gillespie, where she said, I never claimed they were twins when in fact we now know proof that she did. We have her voice, folks. Is she going to claim that that was a artificial intelligence we created? Everything I do is here. Not only that, every video you see here, I've got 2 hours of me making those videos on Work with Dave. Don't fuck with me. I got all the receipts. I'm the IRS, bitch. And again, I want to remind people, I'm not trying to give away all my cards here, but I've been making disclaimers. I've been sharing my opinions. I've been leaving out her name. And I don't believe I've had to do that when sharing the truth. Now, she could claim that this is an invasion of her privacy, but right here, she claims it's not hers. So I can't be violating any sort of HIPAA rules, which again, I'm not, but I can't be doing that if it's not her document. What funny, she was accusing me of violating her HIPAA rules for sharing it. And then I said, but wait, it's not even yours. And she goes, oh yeah, it's not mine. And I was like, well, then I can't violate your HIPAA rules if it's not yours or not her ultrasound. What I can be doing is trying to find out whose it is. So what I did was I reached out to people that she sent it to. By the way, thank you guys so much. I mean, truthfully, I got to close the doors when I make these videos. I don't let my wife hear this stuff. You know, we're due on Wednesday. All right. I don't know the reason why, but I do believe in reason, but I don't know why we've been in this situation while we're also pregnant. Okay. Like I'm not playing a victim. We're digging down and we're fighting. And I don't know why I was the one who was supposed to take this up. I mean, it just fell into our Bachelor Nation lap, right? And I don't know what I'm going to learn. And I don't know how it's going to protect my family. But what I do believe in is that there is far more good than there is evil. What I do believe in is that if they want to really come after us, that we've done nothing but tell the truth, that we'll do what we need to do, rally the troops, and we're gonna be stronger for it. I know all of that, and we still have moments where it can affect us, and I wear my heart on my sleeve, but we know what side of this story we're on. And Press said, "You're amazing. Thank you for sharing the story." Well, and guys, I appreciate it. Let's just finish up with this. This is an email proving the sonogram was sent from Jane Doe. Oh, there it is. I told you I would show this. There it is. Proof of pregnancy. Pregnant stomach. 10/3/23. And of course, I blurred out the fact that, where it came from, but now it's been revealed that that was from Reality Steve. He deleted all of her information here, but what we see is the sonogram 9-5-23. That is the same sonogram from right here. I will show that evidence to prove that. And you might say, well, Dave, anyone can label something sonogram 9-5-23. When I clicked on it, it popped up the same sonogram. So you have to trust me on that. I'm not going to share all of that because a lot of that's not redacted. You just have to trust me. If I was ever sent to court to show all of this, I've got clear paper trails. It is as bulletproof as can come. What we have here is, so you might say, well, just because she sent this to people to prove to them privately, and I want to let you know something. She didn't send this ultrasound necessarily to me. She didn't send it to me because she knows I've been sharing these things publicly. She sent it to people that might talk about it, but not show the proof. And now we know that to be Reality Steve. Okay. So at the time, I was still protecting his identity, but it's been made clear that this email was sent to him. Now, Reality Steve is an audio-based podcast. So she didn't send it to me. She wanted to convince him that she was really pregnant. In hindsight, it's so obvious, but in the moment, she's like, all right, I gotta, she thought she was going to get away with it. That's why we share it publicly, to cross-examine, to pull out the Fiverr timestamps, to do all this jazz, which to me shows that she wants people to remain quiet, but doesn't want her evidence public. Yeah, Deb said Melissa said the homeless newborn insult from a lawyer was absolutely disgusting. I can't begin to tell you how vile that is. I've practiced the 4 agreements. and I'm not reacting emotionally to all of that. My baby is so loved. My wife is so loved, and my family is so loved by this community. It is not something I take lightly. I'm so appreciative to the amazing people that have come into our life. They can't take that from us, guys. They can't take that away. Publicly analyzed. That, my friends, is a red flag. You can't have it both ways. But you might say, Dave, this is an invasion of privacy if she didn't send the email to you. Here's what she has. She's got a Dropbox that she's created that shows all of the evidence. I don't want to scroll through it because I don't want to give her information away. She's got voicemails, Clayton defaming her. So this right here, what date was this? This was from 6 months ago. This is what Clayton wanted to show the judge to prove that he wasn't the one who sent it. According to her, Clayton spreading lies. She's got the ultrasound right there. This is on her Dropbox. And you might say, Dave, just because it's on her Dropbox doesn't make it public. I totally understand. When you click on it, you can see right here, it is a QuickTime movie from her Dropbox. Well, this information from her Dropbox, she shared. She shared the link of this Dropbox. Clear timeline, folks. How did everyone see it? You shared it to everybody on Reddit. And you might say, well, that might not be her who posted on Reddit. It goes down the hole and down the hole and down the hole. How far down do we have to go? It is her. She has deleted her account. She has responded as herself, which we have screen grabs and evidence that it is her. She is the woman who shared this right here, a URL link to her Dropbox. There it is. And Bruce, thank you. Bruce said, Dave, you are happy to serve, reluctant to lead. That is a quality of good leaders. I mean, by all means, we would have loved to be backseat on this. By all means, Megan Fox, Reality Steve, Umbrella Guy, Caitlin Bristow, every podcast that's let Clayton talk. There are other people here that have helped, but by all means, it did require us sort of harvesting that initial energy here. In Reddit, and Reddit's not a private community, at least this Reddit isn't. You don't need a username to go see this. Anybody on the internet could go to her Dropbox and see that she created or that she had this fraudulent sonogram. Could she claim, I thought that was mine, I didn't look too closely, it was sent to me by an ex? I mean, that would be a pretty lousy and faulty claim to make. So when we covered this case, and we've got videos we've taken down because she claimed that the evidence we shared was sealed. She didn't claim it wasn't true. She claimed it was sealed. There it is. There it is, right? So we didn't even know. This was the Fiverr photo right there. That's the Fiverr photo. We didn't even know. She told us this was all sealed. She kind of lied. She said, oh, it must be sealed. So I didn't even realize at the time that ultrasound was fake. But again, I shared this one more time for people. They can go see it there. There it is. It's moving over right there.
You are not the father.
Ladies and gentlemen. There it is. Boy, dance like nobody's watching. Clayton Accuser. Okay, so let's go on. Let's just finish this up. So I wanted to share that video just to show the preponderance of evidence that we have that I didn't make this up. Based on this, Jane's belief is that Dave or someone working with him created the fake video. Like, she can't even remember her own lies. That will obviously part of the defamation lawsuit Jane plans to bring against both Clayton and Dave and others once this matter is over. In any evidence, your statement to the court regarding the sonogram video clearly omits the full context of the video. In doing so, you falsely implied Jane had something to do with this, with creating this fake video, and or that you have a good faith basis to believe evidence exists showing she created this. She has flatly denied creating it, and you have no evidence whatsoever to show that she did. This is so ridiculous. She uploaded the flipping video Taken as a whole, it is clear your assertions and representations in the motion go far, far beyond zealous advocacy. You are simply lying to the court about the facts and the evidence in an attempt to help your client. That is unacceptable. In sum, I have no problem with you advocating zealously on behalf of Clayton, just as I am trying to do with Jane. However, there are limits on such advocacy. You are not allowed to make knowingly false statements to the court, and you are not allowed to withhold information in an attempt to mislead the court. The motion you filed clearly, and by the way, how much information is he withholding? He hasn't acknowledged so many. I mean, this is the first time he's acknowledged. This is the first time he's acknowledged the this video ultrasound, which clearly, I mean, how many people saw that video? All he had to do was search the top videos. I had 22,000 views on this video. I mean, look at it. People are losing their mind. Dave Neal must now add investigative journalist to his list of accolades. Okay, so it goes on and on. And again, this was 8 months ago. Chris said, it's so amazing for you that you're practically the only journalist who has consistently reported on such a huge story. Now, I appreciate everyone who has, but it's like, boy, could we use some much bigger audience. The motion you filed clearly violates both of those standards, and it represents a clear violation of Rule 26. Accordingly, I demand that you withdraw or correct the motion within 10 court days from today. If you choose not to do so, I will seek sanctions and other relief from the court. Very truly yours, Janie Dodo Bird's lawyer. Here's his response. I'll go down here because I don't want you guys to get ahead. I'm gonna share his response and then we'll get out of here. By the way, thank you guys so much. Jenna with a $5 super chat. I could be wrong, but my understanding is journalists are not a covered entity under HIPAA. Yep, no, you're right. Long way to Tipperary said for love for Tasha and for Dave and Tasha Boone and the baby. Thank you so much. And of course, our good pal Fancy Pants got to head out to daycare pickup, but sending love to you, Tasha Boone and baby boy and Clayton and Greg and Mike. You've all got a big army here behind you. CK Cat says, gotta head out to daycare. Oh, we got that one. CK right here says, for the energy drink fund, you will need them. And just hear me out with $10 says, I'm behind, but their expert is going to testify based on HCG, but HCG test doesn't say twins. That is logical proof she was consciously lying, right? Aside from all the other evidence that proves lying. It's a good point. I don't know how they're going to do the twin aspect of this all. Maybe that'll just be for the judge to kind of digest. All right. Here's Greg's response. This is from yesterday. What's today's Monday, right? Some Friday? Somewhere on Friday. David, the upcoming trial is very simple, and the relentless emails and demands are only creating more legal work for naught and do not help. I am very uncomfortable with the aggressive way you're litigating this, sharing pleadings on your blog and the Twitter battles. I've expressed my concern with some of the things you have said, and I'm doing my level best to remain focused on what should be a simple evidence presentation to Judge Mata. I strongly disagree with your Rule 26 analysis, and I regret withdrawing Clayton's motion for sanctions. My intention in withdrawing it was to keep the focus on the simple facts of the case. Yeah, it's a good example of give a mouse a cookie, right? I thought it would encourage your camp to tone down the rhetoric and toxicity. Obviously, that did not happen. As stated in the response to your sardonic lunch motion, I am willing to discuss issues pertaining to trial process with you, but only with a neutral third party present. I am not comfortable with how you communicate, and I'd hoped that your prior apology after the ad hominem commentary would have changed that. It has not. This is Clayton and Jane's case, not ours. As for your letter and 10-day demand, I am responding briefly to the 4 salient issues. You guys ready for it? As for your letter, 4 salient issues. If you choose to file for Rule 26 sanctions, we will respond and let the court adjudicate the matter. The underlying motion at issue used limiting language that was perhaps inartful, but certainly not malignant or violative of Rule 26. Although I do not owe you an explanation, I am documenting our position and asking again that you stop the hostile litigation. Plaintiff was never pregnant by defendant is a factual contention with evidentiary support based on belief formed after reasonable inquiry. To wit, Clayton's sincere, incredible, and unambiguous denial of vaginal intercourse or conduct that could have caused pregnancy. Only Jane has ever mentioned there being any sort of penetrative conduct, and her narrative has widely shifted from his fluids being down there after she performed oral sex, to him being too high to remember penetration, to now an absurd claim of rape. Clayton's assertions that Jane could never have been pregnant by him remains the same. Plaintiff has provided no verifiable medical evidence to support her alleged twin pregnancy. Is a factual content with evidentiary support based on review of the disclosure she provided. By the way, if you're reading this and listening to this with the sound of the national anthem playing, you would be right. Because this is how you fight a bully. With facts. It's factual content with evidentiary support based on review of the disclosure she provided. Verifiable medical evidence is an important qualifier here because it limits the scope of the connection to evidence that can be proven accurate to a reasonable degree of scientific certainty and evidentiary scrutiny. Recall, we have still not received any confirmation that Jane had a sonogram done on 7/2 at Planned Parenthood and have, in fact, received records indicating all she had was a telehealth appointment at the end of June, which aligns with their various emails to Clayton and Clayton's father regarding the same. The mom doc records support the absence of pregnancy and say nothing about whether a pregnancy ever existed. To date, every obstetrician and gynecologist have indicated they have no records as she was never seen as a patient. Is a factual content based on the information she provided and lack thereof. Making an appointment that was not kept with Dr. McCool or Dr. Higley does not constitute being seen as a patient. For the mom doc records, the statement also functions as a denial of factual contention warranted on the evidence per Rule 26. We denied her factual contention. She was seen as a patient by an OBGYN based on the totality of evidence, and her being seen by mom doc for a non-pregnancy related pap smear is not her being seen as a patient for pregnancy, including the fact she alleged before we filed the motion that she miscarried months earlier. This is how it's done, folks. This is how we do it. Sorry, I'm trying to go back to see your super chats, but we'll get to them. Yeah. To date, to the extent this does not address her being seen at mom doc for non-pregnancy related medical treatment, we will amend the motion to clarify that months after Jane claimed she miscarried, she was seen on November 14th at mom doc, who confirmed she was pregnant. So her attorney is asking them to dot their I's, and they're saying, we'll dot our I's, but she still wasn't pregnant. Big Farts says, Woodnick throwing facts like Thor throws a hammer. We're almost done, folks. How long have we been live for? Gosh, I got to go take my wife out. The fourth statement about the sonograms curiously matches up with sonograms and YouTube videos posted from years ago online. Is a factual, accurate contention. They very much match up. Jane was presented with the evidence during her deposition. Oh, she was presented with the evidence? Oh, Janie Birdie was presented with the evidence? She didn't like the evidence. Janie Dodo Burger search evidence wasn't conclusive in her favor. So Janie Dodo Burger said, no, that evidence is not real. That's not real evidence. Davey made it up. Did you know that Davey made it up and made me feel sad? Because I was doing arts and crafts. Did you know that if you do arts and crafts, you're allowed to? I have freedom of expression. Davey's a big bad boy. See also the fifth supplemental disclosure statement, which includes the email your client sent to Steve Carbone, Reality Steve. We got Reality Steve on here. We got so many Reality Steve moments on our soundboard. We just have hold on. Where do we even begin with our Reality Steve moments on the soundboard? We got them all, folks. I'm trying to find them. Hold on. We got the garbage one here.
Garbage.
There's another one.
Your audio sucks. The blood is on your hands, Dave Neal.
There it is. We got pimping for Reality Steve. We got it all. I don't know where the pimping for reality we have.
I mean, good God.
We love a good Reality Steve.
It's gonna be on.
No, that's not it. Hold on.
Everyone.
Dave Neal's like
everyone.
Dave Neal's like a big person in like Bachelor YouTube. Believe
All
it
right.
or not.
Well, that was very nice. And then maybe our final one here. I guess that's it. I thought I had more.
Holy crap, you're an asshole. I would highly suggest going to Dave Neal's YouTube page.
And then
I don't care if you think I'm pimping for Dave.
All right. Anyway, we continue. Includes the email your client sent to Steve Carbone, Reality Steve, from her email with the same sonogram attachment. She sent the same video to Clayton in October and said, "Here's my how many zeros? Here's my 100,000,000% real ultrasound video. I appreciate that your client claims everything she said or sent to others that does not comport with her new narrative must be crafted by someone else or AI, but that is an argument she can make to the judge. We will be filing the amended motion in due course, consistent with your request for the same." There it is, folks. There it is, just a walking down the street singing do-a-diddy-da-dee-do-diddy-do. Janie Dodo is... Okay, so anyway, maybe we'll end this here with a good song. I don't know what we've got for songs here. We have a few ones, but let's just do a little bit of this one. It's called Still Prego. That's going to be it for me, folks. Thanks for all the super chats. Appreciate you. That's your update. Thanks for all the super chats and all the support, guys. By the way, if you haven't already, the best way to support me right now is subscribing to the podcast. Fast-growing Bachelor Rush Hour. All of your entertainment news in one place. Bachelor Rush Hour. You can subscribe on your phone, listen on a car ride, family fun. You guys can't hear it? I'm sorry. I'm cracking myself up that you guys can't hear this. I am losing. How many times do you have to teach an old dog a new trick? All right. Okay. I'll give it to you. We lost 200 of you, but that's fine. I'm going to give it to you guys right now. I'll give it to you. Still Prego, and then I'm going to go. But boy, I couldn't let us go without a full. Okay, here it is. There it is. Still Prego. You can hear it now. Here it is. Go through some of your chats. It's kind of funny, right? Silent disco. And I'm feeling quite near to the day I hold my baby. It's crazy she has not one person supporting her. Will it still play? Oh, probably not, right? People may talk their doubts, but I'm here to tell you, no need to pout. I'm strong. Hit the like button on the way out the door. Baby's going inside, feeling so alive. Got a love I just can't hide. 5, 6, 7, 8. Still viable, that's what I'm all about. Rocking this baby bomb, never gonna doubt. In this crazy world, I'm bringing something. That was a $10 super chat. Be a mom. My love will guide us through. You got Jula money. Thank you, Michelle. Appreciate that. Still Prego, still Prego, still Prego, still Prego, still 5, 6, 7, 8. Crazy world, I'm bringing something new. Gonna be a mom. My love will guide us through. We're still Prego. 2 more days.
drag myself out of bed just like I always do. But there's one thing that gets me through.
Right there.
Y'all gotta listen to this. I'm plugging my earbuds, blasting tunes. It's the Rush Hour Podcast Bliss. I hear the host crack a joke, making me smile and forget about the work that's waiting on this Monday. Ain't no regret. The rhythm of the blues slowly takes over my soul. By the time the episode's done, I'm ready to reach my goal. Running blues, I'm feeling kinda low, but with the Rush Hour Podcast, there's a groove in my flow. It's the magic in my ears that keeps me moving along. So let the music play and let the blues carry on. And let the blues carry on.
That's it, folks. I got to go. Thank you so much for all the support, super chats, and beyond. I'll see you on the Bachelor Rush Hour Podcast every morning and afternoon. Thanks for subscribing, for all the support. We'll catch you guys later. Bye, everybody.
YouTube's my platform.